The Baba Yaga is back. Stick around for the review. What's up, Universe, and welcome back to the web's first must-see comic and nerd culture show. Welcome to Comic Universe, guys. I'm one of your hosts, as always, CDubbs, and as you guys can see, I'm running solo on this video. No, DPZ did not shrink and get uglier. Okay, and that's actually just my Chucky doll. I know you guys are used to DPZ being here on the side, you know, my partner in crime. However, he is on assignment at MegaCon. I unfortunately was not able to attend this year due to the wife and I having a big move. We're moving from Orlando, Florida to Dallas, Texas within the next month. So things are going to get a little hectic. Reviews are going to be a little strange. You may not see the normal attire from time to time. Just know everything is fine. Unfortunately, we just have to move. But DPZ is on assignment. He's getting as much content as he can from MegaCon, and we'll have all that information to you shortly. So guys, what did you come here for? Not to find out if I was moving, not to see what the heck my partner was up to, but you came here for the review of John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum. Now, this film franchise is the little engine that could. This is the film franchise, you know, quote Jeremy Johns here, that Taken wanted to be. You know, I absolutely love the very first Taken. It's one of my favorite action movies. In fact, it's one of my favorite movies of all time. Okay, but as the sequels started to come out, it just started to dip in quality and just sheer nonsense. 2 was okay, 3 just didn't care. Okay, and the TV show talk about, you know, beating a dead horse, right? All right, so what about this film franchise? What makes this so different? What separates this from the likes of the 15 million diehards that we have? And if you're fans of these, I'm not knocking them, I'm just saying, once something makes a profit, they like to beat it with a dead horse, right? The difference is the lore of this movie. The lore, the universe in which they create. Okay, only thing I can compare it to is something out of like DC Comics and Batman, with how deep and rich the assassin lore. Now, could it be better? Yeah. Could there be more? Yeah, but they give you just enough to make you go, I'm interested to see where this is going. Or they should tell you something about his past, and you just know that it's going to lead to something maybe in the future down the line. And this movie is no different, no exception. Okay, and it really does a great job continuing the story of John Wick. Now, if you're a fan of this franchise, as always, guys, I'm gonna break it down, keep it to, if you haven't seen it, don't worry, this is gonna be as spoiler-free as possible. And guys, I'm gonna break it down and give you the good, the bad, the badass, as I always do. So the good, guys, the good, of course, is the action. The action is top-notch, it's stellar, there's nothing that I can compare it to in terms here in the States. It's just so awesome. Of course, it is very similar to like the styles of The Raid and things like that, but here in the States, it kind of has set itself apart, if you will, with the fight choreography and the believability. This one, I think, even more so than the others. One of the things that I loved about Taken, okay, was that Liam Neeson's character, you know, you knew he was an absolute badass, but he wasn't the Terminator. He got hurt, he got beat up, he got punched, he got shot at. He felt very real and organic. Now, in the first 2 John Wicks, okay, they set the tone telling you how absolute badass he is. And in many ways, he does come across as the Terminator, if you will, the Baba Yaga, the man you call to kill the boogeyman. Okay, but in this one, they take it back a notch. Okay, they let you see and feel the pain that he is in. This guy is battling essentially the world. Every single assassin in the world is after this man. Okay, not to mention this picks up immediately after the second part. So this dude is already been through hell and back. Okay, we pick up with John Wick basically running through New York City, trying to gather as much supplies as possible, or try to get enough assistance, because there's like about a 30-minute window, okay, that until he's completely excommunicado. Okay, basically cut off, the ties cut from the assassin's world, if you will. And basically that 14 million is going to go on his head. Now, if you're not familiar with where we got to, how we got to this point, you know, a little spoiler alert for part 2, okay, he killed someone who was at the head of the table, okay, on concentrated ground. Basically, it's a no-no. It's one of their rules. If you're at the hotel, okay, you're not killing it. You cannot kill there, okay? And he does, right there in front of the manager, of course. So unfortunately, though the manager is his friend, basically has to set everything in motion that places the bounty on his head. And the heads of the table are furious, you know, and want to definitely prove a point and make, you know, an exception of him, show the rest of the assassins that this is why you don't mess with the table, if you will. And if you're not familiar with some of these lores, you know, you may have to do some more research, because that's not really what this video is about. Just know that you got the table, which is basically the heads of the table, the big guys, you know, overseeing everything. You got the guy above the table, okay, and then you have basically everybody else and what's beneath the table. That's the best way that I can explain it. Now, what's really awesome about this film, again, besides the action, is Keanu Reeves taking it down just a notch. As, you know, as he's fighting, trying to survive, you see the more human side of him come out. You get to see a lot more of the lore. You get to see where his training comes from, or at least a portion of it, and how difficult it is. They essentially show that in his past, you know, learning to wrestle, learning to fight, and learning judo. Okay, you even see some of the females that are there learning to be ballerinas, how difficult and the torture that they put them through to actually achieve perfection. So you understand why John Wick is as badass as he is. Now guys, on to the bad of this film. There's really not very much. I think I watched this movie from ear to ear, smiling. Like, I just enjoyed almost every single scene that I've seen. The first half of this movie, the first, I'd say 15 to 20, maybe even 30 minutes of this film, is probably the single best action movie I have ever seen in my life. Now, I do enjoy the first movie better just because of the uniqueness and how simple the story was, okay? But the fight choreography, I see things, you get to see things in this film you've never seen. And if you have seen it, you haven't seen done as creatively as this, okay? I'm talking, we're dealing with everything from horses to hatchets, okay? To knives, to fighting 8-foot tall giants. Okay, yes, 8-foot tall giants are coming after him. Ninjas on bikes. Okay, you see it all. You see sushi masters that are essentially ninjas. I mean, this movie, like, if they wanted to turn this or spin this off into a TV show, as long as the fight choreography was there and they were expanding the lore, this is a TV show that would succeed where, unfortunately, Taken did fail. Okay, this would definitely be something must watch, I think, or at least given a chance. Even if you were not following John Wick and just kind of expanding on the lore, maybe other assassins or other managers of other concentrated grounds, if you will, you know, it would just be absolutely awesome. Now, back to the film. The only real bad part that I gotta say that took me back just a step, and it's just gonna come across as if I'm hating on Halle Berry, which is not the case. She's a phenomenal actress, very beautiful woman. There's a small scene where they focus so much on her, and it is a fight scene. And, you know, even my wife caught on to it that, you know, while John Wick is reloading and loading, you never actually see her reload. So it's just, and, you know, one of those things in action movies where the gun never runs out of ammo. You know, and again, I don't mean this to sound sexist in any way. Clearly Ronda Rousey would like whip my ass, okay? But, you know, I am bigger, I am stronger, you know, there should be some, even if I were to grab her, yes, she's gonna flip me over, okay, but just my sheer weight is not gonna be the same that she's used to, so there may be a little bit of off balance. There may be a little pushback. You know, it's normal. That's the way it would be. And, you know, Halle Berry is not a very large woman, not a very strong, physically imposing woman, and she's just demolishing guys, you know, where everything else feels so organic and realistic. And there's some, especially like I said, with John Wick getting a lot of pushback from the enemies because of how beaten up he is, okay, she's just like you know, yeah, she'll get slammed up against something, but she literally reverses it right away. However, what they make up for in that, she has 2 pet dogs. 2 German Shepherds, so trained, okay, that they're helping her through the fight, which was absolutely awesome. Okay, I love almost every single scene with them in it. You know, I felt for them as well. I didn't want them to get shot, killed, hurt, punched, anything. So the tension is heightened, and you already know how John Wick feels about animals. So you're just like on edge because you know something may or may not happen to get him even more into that mode. And it's just awesome. The only other downfall I would say is some of the scenes where the dogs attack, though they try to make it look as natural as possible, okay, with them aiming or something like that, they're actually posing for the dog to get at their arm or get at them. You can kind of see it in some scenes, not every scene, but there are a few where it's just like, but there are some really funny ass moments with this particular scene too. It's like after, you know, it bites him, so she shoots him in the head, and now they're on the floor, but the dog doesn't know that he's dead, so the dog's still tugging and pulling, and the guy's already dead. So you get that funniness of like overkill. So it was really awesome. You get a lot of cool kooky characters coming after Wick as well. You're introduced to some more lore, like some of the medical professionals within the scope of the table, if you will, and the assassins, which is really awesome. And you get a little bit of a story also with Halle Berry, that there was something there that maybe we could get a prequel of, or maybe we can get some touching on, or maybe she'll be introduced into it more, into the film franchise more, and build her character, maybe leading into a spin-off or something to that nature, I don't know. However, but there's something in John Wick's past that he helped her with, and they had a blood bond basically between each other that has been fulfilled in this film, but maybe to see what actually happened may be expanded upon later on in the film franchise. Now guys, on to the badass. Okay, earlier when I alluded to scenes that I have never seen before, this is a small spoiler, but nothing that's going to ruin the movie. There's a fight scene within a horse stable where Wick actually uses the horses to his offensive advantage, and you could only imagine what takes place here. And it was absolutely great. The ending is phenomenal. It sets up for an additional film. That much I'm just going to say. You know, just to kind of maybe intrigue you to go see this now. Don't put it off to the side, because sometimes I know when I put things off to the side, before I know it, I get so far behind and the next movie's about to come out and all of that stuff. So definitely go check this out. I would say there's only one other bad thing that I forgot to touch on, and it seems to be something that's happening a lot maybe in smaller films. They get a slightly bigger budget, or a reasonable budget, and they want to start diving into some special effects, maybe some CGI, and there's some portions of it that look so good, like so good. Then by the end of the film, again, I don't know if they're filming it in order or whatever the case may be, but maybe some of the scenes towards the end kind of just are a step or two below that. But nothing that breaks the movie, nothing that takes you out of the movie, or anything to that nature. So back to the badass, and there's one more badass thing that I loved about this film, that especially towards the end of the movie, we're introduced into these sushi ninjas. That's the best way I could describe them, right? And you know, they've pledged their allegiance to basically take out John Wick. And these guys are so good that they start appearing in fight scenes. Okay, they like literally are in the scene, but you don't see them till the last second, till the kill happens, and they were there the whole time. So they're literally like a part of the background or a part of the wall. Okay, and they just pop out, boom, sword to the head, sword to the top of the head, or whatever the case may be. And they come out there like, chwa, 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 and then they, poof, ninja vanish. And it was awesome because they're like there the whole time. There's only one or two times where it was like, oh, he's right there. Okay, but you could almost not see them at all. And there was this really cool effect of they were so skilled that even, you know, John Wick, you know, would be looking at them and a crowd of people would walk by and poof, they would vanish. He would be able to do it too, but it was just really cool that, or there's a scene where they're in this humongous glass, room, okay, and it's bulletproof glass, and from one panel of glass to the next, the guy's walking, and as soon as the crease, which is maybe paper thin, okay, to the next panel of glass, he's walking and poof, he doesn't even appear in the next panel of glass. And granted, it's probably, it's definitely a camera trick, but it's like, oh man, this dude is just so skilled. And it was really cool to see some of the actors from The Raid in this movie. Yes, they are. And there's some people that are saying that these two movies might be in the same universe. I don't know for sure. But if they are, that makes me very, very, very happy. So guys, that's going to conclude my review here of John Wick Chapter 3. I gotta say, top 5 movie in my opinion. For me, again, I can't decide if I like this one more or Avengers Endgame. I just know the Avengers Endgame, the ending fight scene is the most epic thing I've ever seen in my life. However, I smiled and enjoyed every single second for the most part. Maybe all of 4 minutes did I not like on the edge of my seat or wanting to clap or be like, oh, and normally I'll sit through a movie and just be very quiet, I'll enjoy the film, but this movie had things happening to people where I was like, oh my God. Okay, everyone in the theater was like that, or laughing at just the sheer craziness of what we just saw. And I gotta give my hands up to the choreographers, to the directors, to the writers, to the actors. This movie is a damn good time from beginning to end, and I cannot wait for this franchise to continue. Where some people call it a trilogy and end it. Me, I almost don't want this to end again. Even if we kind of span away from John Wick's character, and I know this sounds weird, I think the lore is so interesting that I would be open to TV shows or other characters in this world. All right, universe, now it's on you. Let me know in the comments below. Did you guys see it? Did you like it? Do you like the John Wick franchise? If you don't like it, tell me why, because I really can't fathom anyone not liking this movie. It's just absolutely awesome. And even if Keanu Reeves is not your thing, I know some people out there don't like him as an actor, though he is a great human being, though. So hopefully you don't like him as a that's not, it doesn't conflict on how you feel about him as a person. But it's absolutely crazy to me that someone wouldn't like this film franchise because of the heart and the soul and the devotion that they try to put on to giving you the best entertainment possible. And it speaks volumes that this movie came from little nothing to being able to compete with, summertime blockbusters, which are clearly we're pretty much in the midst of. Okay, guys, so until next time, guys, don't forget to like, share, subscribe on the video. Hulk, smash the hell out of that like button. Smash it like you mean it, guys. Subscribe if you haven't already. And guys, click that notification bell so you know every single time we drop a video, guys. As we grow, production's going to get better. We do everything. If this is the first time you've come across, we try to make this channel the one stop for all things nerd and pop culture, everything from video games to movies, toys, you call it. We want to do it all, every fan fiction. If you have an idea for a video, let us know in the comments below as well, guys. Till next time, I'm CDubbs, that's Chucky, and we'll see you in the universe. Peace!